Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball edition. You heard the intro, it means we're going to be talking some Dragon Ball. And when you're talking Dragon Ball, you got to have a Dragon Ball expert, Mitchell Osso. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Martin. Good talking to you again, as always, and always ready as we always talk about more Dragon Ball news and spoilers and previews for the upcoming chapter. Ready to dive into it.
Right. And as Mitch said, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Chapter 66. We're going to preview that. That is coming out this Friday. So you might be able to listen to this before then, or you might be listening to our preview now and then our review later, depending on when these episodes get out and what your schedule is. So we're just going to dive into the previews that came out for Chapter 66, always provided by Dragon Ball Hype. Mitch, if you just want to highlight some of the previews that came out so that we can discuss them and what we think is going to happen, because this arc is ending this year.
So on the 12th, we received some drafts that came out. Typically, like we said on the other podcast, usually they're giving us drafts of the upcoming chapter, usually about 10 days prior. This one was, 8. So I'm not going to complain all too much. They don't need to be giving us drafts, to be honest with you. So if you're like me and you love spoilers and that stuff, then it's a nice little present every month to get us all hyped up for the upcoming chapter. Some things to note, and DBZ Hype over on Twitter, he is the excellent Dragon Ball leaker, per se. Not really a leaker. I think he gets the drafts somehow. I don't know who gives them to him, and he posts them on Twitter, and then we all get to see. And some things to note is that he also gets a summary of the chapter beforehand. Usually we get one, and then we get a more detailed one closer to the date of the release. We haven't gotten that one, the more in-depth one, unless the one that he did give us was the most complete version of it. But long story short, the chapter begins, and the chapters, they are looking at the Z fighters, not Goku, Moro, Berus, and all of them, and like Vegeta and Gohan, and they're talking about that Moro, his energy absorption, and how he is one with the earth. He's absorbing the powers of the Z fighters. They're told to get away from the ground, so they're flying to the battlefield. And Vegeta realizes that Kakarot, or Goku, he screwed up again. No surprise there. Even Vegeta can figure it out even before he shows up there. And Goku's fighting Moro. Moro's basically fighting back. He's using the earth as his physical body per se, and he's punching Goku. But Goku's just, dodging everything and just fighting. He's still in Ultra Instinct. And Whis then tells Goku that, the situation is bad. Moro, his energy is just keeps rising and whatnot. Krillin wonders if there's anything that they can do, all the stuff that's just hyping you up to question what will happen. And Whis says that there's one thing that he can do, but he wonders if Goku can manage it. Now, as I read kind of the summary as it goes on, Whis doesn't really state what that is, so maybe we'll actually get that part. But the funny thing that this now leads into is that Berus, standing on the sidelines, actually decides that he will actually have to intervene because he doesn't want the Earth to be gone. Obviously, he loves the food. He probably won't admit it. He probably has an attachment to Earth. But then, he has his, tough guy personality up. So he doesn't want the other gods of destruction to see that he's suffering with a destroyed Earth and makes him sad, whatever it might be. So Berus is about to step in, and then Whis has to interrupt him by stating that the Grand Priest is summoning them, and Whis speculates it has to deal with Miras's erasure. No, I'm not really sure if that's a word, but his disappearance. So Berus kind of freaks out because, I mean, he has to go see the Grand Priest. Of course, he's not going to be happy. And with that, so Berus then just kind of brushes it off, tells everyone that the Earth's problems is their problems, not his. They need to figure it out. Right? Well, then before they leave, though, Whis shows up right next to Goku and tells him how to defeat Moro, which all he says is that he has to defeat the crystal that Maris did. I'm not 100% sure like how they're really going to dive into that one, but that's what they're going to do. It's kind of funny because in the screenshots, Goku's still fighting Moro, right? And then Moro tries to punch Whis, and Whis basically just uses a finger and just kind of deflects him. So we already know the power scale then of how Whis is compared to the antagonists of this arc. So that's just kind of funny in my eye. But Whis basically gives him a pep talk, believe in himself and his powers, and or Whis says that. I don't know if I said Whis or Beerus there. And then they leave, and Goku's kind of just sitting there, just like, okay, I need to hurry up, defeat or break the crystal before it's disappeared and it's hidden. And then the chapter ends with Vegeta appearing out of nowhere, telling Goku to get out of the way. So that's what the summary we got. And I mean, it's a full summary, so I imagine this will be everything, unless there's, as Martin and I have discussed throughout the week, there still seems to be a lot of Super this arc that, at least in terms of our like either our predictions or hopes, a lot of stuff needs to happen or in a small amount of time. So unless this chapter is more than 40 pages, like I can't imagine that this being the last chapter. We at least, Martin, didn't we get confirmation that this was going to be the chapter that wraps up the Moro arc, or like do we have one more chapter then into December in the Moro arc? Is it like a wind down?
Yeah, this is like the big climax chapter, and then next month is supposed to be like the wind down, try and tie loose ends, and then like have previews for the next big arc that will start in 2021. And like you said, going over the previews that's come out, there's still a lot that needs to get done in this chapter, and I guess next month as well. There's a lot that needs to get done.
It's going back to like like one of my predictions or my hopes, is that like if this chapter is really going to end next month, right? And let's just take what we know. So it has been confirmed. I don't really know the true sources on it, but you got DBZ Hype, you have Unreal End Gaming, you got Geekdom, you got all these people saying that this is the arc is done, and it's confirmed. Either I forget if it was either this chapter or next chapter, but regardless, let's just play it that next chapter is the final chapter. I don't know how happy I am. I did say that this would go on at least till the end of the year, so I mean, I guess I got that one right. I don't think that was rocket science though, but why not? But it's like, okay, Vegeta's going to come in and he's going to probably save the day, or he's going to set Goku up for the whatever the attack that will be that will destroy Moro, right? And it's like it's another Cell saga, Gohan and Cell are being struggling against each other and whatnot, and Vegeta hits Cell with his attack, and then Gohan sweeps in and just obliterates Cell. So another kind of copycat kind of manner here, and I I think it's going to kind of be. It's not going to be a terrible ending, but it's kind of a dud. Unless something happens that I'm just going to just get completely shocked about, and already been shocked in the past few chapters with the sensu bean. So, I mean, maybe I can be shocked in a positive manner, but I, it's, I think it's tough.
Yeah, I agree. Even just listening, you go through the previews, they throw that cop out that, oh, Berus and Whis finally going to get involved. But then now, all of a sudden, Grand Priest wants to call them to come to them immediately, probably talk about Mirrors. Mirrors has been dead for a couple chapters. Like, Grand Priest could have called them 3 chapters ago, but now he wants to call them right when we get teased that Berus is finally going to get involved. So I'm hoping that Grand Priest calling Whis and Berus might be maybe a foreshadowing to another arc. Maybe that's the start of it.
Do you think Mirrors is actually dead, or do you think that whenever the chapter pans to Whis and Beerus at the Grand Priest's palace, do you think that we'll see Mirrors there?
Oh, that's tough. I want to say that he is gone at this moment because the sacrifice of an angel is supposed to be permanent. So I'm just gonna say yes for now. Hopefully, Grand Priest isn't like, oh, he was so noble, so I decided to bring him back, because then it takes away from that sacrifice of Mirrors.
Well, I wonder if Mirrors will actually be like completely erased because he was an angel in training.
Yeah.
So if like is there a leniency in the angel hierarchy that if you're in training, then that means that you are prone to making mistakes. You're going to grow wise, you're going to learn, and you're going to then fit the role that you will have in the future. So because if there was no need to train in angels, they would know then from their very beginning of their existence
Good
what
point.
they need to do. So now, if it was like Whis, for example, because since Whis is a attendant to a god of destruction, I assume then he has to be. There's no leniency with Whis. If Whis fucks up, Whis gets erased. And is that the same then with Mirrors? Was he just erased from Universe 7 or teleported over to Grand Priest, and he's going to have him in Angel 101 class, learning you can't fight more mortals with your full power unless you're told to by your god of destruction. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good points there. Man, it's also too like Vegeta and them finally waking up, finally getting involved on the last chapter. Like we say this about Super a lot. It just feels rushed and congested.
It's bad though. We sat here for 2 years for this thing,
Yep,
and why is it
2
feeling
years.
like it's? Why does it feel like it's being rushed?
I know, 2 years.
But I'm curious. I'm curious though. What's going to be the final attack that kills Moro? Right. So Vegeta's going to come. He's going to separate Moro from the Earth. Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's cool. What? Like a Kamehameha? He can't do a spirit bomb. There's not enough time to do one. You need some like a little hype chapter for that one. And if this chapter's ending in on Friday or whatever the 20th is, or next month, you're not getting a spirit bomb out of Goku, so it has to be a Kamehameha. Okay, I'm sorry, that's kind of boring because I'm like thinking, let's look back to our previous antagonists of the chap or of all. I'll go back to Cell. Yeah, we beat Cell with a Kamehameha. Cool. Beerus, I think one of the final moves that Goku used against Beerus was Kamehameha before Goku passed out from Beerus's strength and all that other crap. And I'm like, is that really fun? Is that really fun? Just anymore? Just a Kamehameha? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's kind of. I need to see something different. I would be cool with a spirit bomb because one of my earliest predictions for how this chapter would. This was at the very beginning whenever they introduced Moro and we learned about his powers. Like, my prediction was at the time that whatever happened, Goku would defeat Moro by using a spirit bomb because there's irony in that writing, right? Moro is a antagonist who forcefully takes the energy from people to make himself stronger, right? The spirit bomb is a attack that people donate their energy to give to, Goku so that he can use it to defeat the enemies. If people aren't donating their energy, that spirit bomb ain't doing anything. We saw it back in the Boo arc. Hercule has to tell Earth to donate, right? And I just thought there would be a sort of irony in that Moro would be defeated by people giving their energy willingly.
No,
I don't think
I
that's going to happen.
agree. But since it's the manga, and I think one of the fan mangas did it too, which I'm thinking it might be a possibility. What if he gets separated and then godly moves? What if he gets Hakai?
The thing about the Hakai is, are we aligning ourselves to the manga or the anime? Because
Oh,
the manga says that anyone, at least, they didn't show anything differently. The manga shows that anyone can just Hakai someone. You don't have to be a god of destruction for it. You don't need god of destruction or energy of destruction to Hakai someone. Goku just borderline half Hakai Zamasu back
yep.
in the day, and he didn't succeed with it because Zamasu outsmarted him by grabbing Mai, and he didn't want to erase Mai, so he stopped midway through his Hakai. Okay, so manga says anyone can Hakai as long as you learn the technique. Okay. But in the anime, you can only Hakai people if you're a god of destruction or a god of, a candidate for being one. Just overall, you need to have energy of destruction to do that. Which, if that's the guidelines we're following, Goku doesn't have any god of destruction powers or anything like that. So I'm not sure if Hakkai's going to work unless they want to. They could Hakkai if they actually want to tie into what Whis says to Goku at the end of the chapter. He says that Whis tells him he's got the power of gods, so he must believe in his power.
Yep.
So then that would mean that if you're a Super Saiyan god or any sort of divine being, regardless of what it might be, you can Hakkai someone. So I mean, if they tie it into that, then I think that's acceptable. I think that's cool. That's way cooler than a Kamehameha to end it. Vegeta diffuses him, he Hakais him, and then Moro's powers, or all the energy that he has building up since he copied Mirrors there, it just gets erased, and then Earth doesn't explode. We all live happily ever after. That'd be cool.
I'll take it back to this. That'd be great.
That'd be a good way to end it. I think I'm a little more convinced on that. But again, they have to explain that too. They can't just do it. I mean, I need substance. I need a build up. Okay, maybe not a build up, not like 2 chapters build up. I just need someone to explain that, and then, damn, do it. That's fine. But
Where's the guy Boo?
It's stupid. I don't understand. I don't get it. Boo's not around. Very disappointing because he was completely immune to all of Moro's magic.
Yep.
You get the Grand Supreme Kai involved too. That's a highlight of this arc. but it only lasts like a chapter or two back on a new Namek, and that's it. That's it. So Boo has a potential to. I speculate that Boo is going to be a disappointment yet again in this arc if he doesn't make an appearance to contribute in some manner. But and then it also goes back to I don't understand why they had the plot point at the beginning when we had the flashback of the Grand Supreme Kai fighting Moro back in the day, and to seal away their magic, he gave up his god powers. Like, I don't understand why you even introduce that idea if you don't finish the arc with that idea. Which maybe that's what Goku's going to do. He has the power of gods. He must believe in that power, and he's going to use that power to seal away Moro's magic. And, maybe Vegeta just final flashes the hell out of Moro. That would be sweet. But that's just personal preference. Probably not good storytelling, but that'd be sweet. Just.
Yeah, this chapter really needs to be about 60 pages. Like if I open it on Friday and it only has like 40 to 45, I'm already gonna have that feeling that it's gonna be rushed. So I really need like a 60-page final battle bonanza just so it could tie some things up so that the next chapter isn't trying to get rid of bad plot points they had. Like if Majin Buu wakes up next month, I'm actually going to be kind of pissed.
Rightfully so. He shouldn't be sleeping. They should be incorporating him. He's like what, top 5 in terms of protagonists, like strongest guys in Universe 7, maybe top 10, at least according to the multiverse that we've seen. I mean, but if you can't get Earthlings like involved anymore because power scaling's way too ridiculous, well, you have one in Majin Buu, and you could work it, but it doesn't look like it. Will you be disappointed if you don't actually learn anything about Moro's backstory?
Yeah.
Like if you thought Jiren's was bad, this has to be worse. Like at least I know the reason why Jiren wanted to be super strong was because he didn't want to get overpowered and beat up. He didn't want to be bullied. That's essentially what it was. His entire life he got bullied. Now, granted, his loved ones and friends all died from that evildoer, but he didn't want to be bullied, so he got strong. And if anyone comes up tries to bully him, he puts them down. He basically is a deterrence. That's all he is. But at least I know why he's so strong is what he is. All I know about Moro is that he's evil. I don't know why.
And he was in jail for the entire series, but then became a problem now.
I'd like to know how long the Galactic Patrol has been around, because, if Majin Buu was like 1,000,000 years, 5 million, 10 million, I honestly forget, like that many years ago, and then Moro was before Majin Buu, then had he just been sitting on his butt in jail? Like eating slop for chow?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either, man. But the chapter does come out this Friday. We're obviously gonna read it, and besides the chapter in December, that's gonna be it for the 2-year Moro arc. And I guess in the review episode, when we do that, to talk about what we thought about the Moro arc as soon as it ends, what did we like, what did we not like, what can be improved upon, because this was 2 years, and we haven't had an anime, so now maybe with this ending, they'll start the anime, but this has been the only Dragon Ball Super content we've had besides Heroes. So 2 years is a lot of time invested in this, and I don't think the payoff's going to be worth it.
No, the anime is going to have a lot of fixing up. I can already see it. A lot of dialogue will be fixed. A lot of stuff will be added, and hell, we might even get a brand new ending. Because and we've already seen it. the anime ending for Zamasu is not the same as the manga ending for Zamasu. In anime, Zamasu gets, stabbed with Trunks' spirit sword, and then his body, for some odd reason, just completely disintegrates, even though he's immortal, half immortal, whatever it is. And then his essence infuses with the the reality of Universe 7, right? And the multi-universe, yeah, whatever. In the manga, Zamasu is copying himself. I forget how exactly he's copying, but there's a ton of fused Zamasus all over the earth, and then whatnot. But in both situations, though, Goku activates the button that brings the Omni King over, and he erases both universes. So things that lead up to that ending are different, even though like the actual ending itself is the same. But that's what this arc could potentially then end. And even the Tournament of Power has way different endings, even fights in the middle. Yeah, the anime is not going to be the same as the manga here. Already calling it. And again, I don't think that's breaking news. I don't think you need to put me on, freezing cold takes on Twitter. Like that's just what it will be. It'll be like 60 to 75% of what the manga is.
No, we're gonna have to wait and see on that. Mitch, you got anything else you want to talk about in the preview?
Not in the preview. I'm actually looking forward to the overall arc review, because I think in that episode I would like us to dive into, let alone the review maybe at the beginning, but then what you and I wanted the arc to be. What was our initial thoughts, when Moro was first seen? What were we thinking? What were we expecting? What did we hope for? And because I know a lot of things that we hoped for or we thought would happen didn't happen, both for good and bad. No. But then we can actually dissect if we were somehow skilled enough to be writers, what our ideas have been maybe more beneficial for the series. So.
And we will be doing that in the chapter review of 66. So we're really going to do that deep dive that Mitch just talked about. But until then, we're just going to have to count these days down until we finally get this chapter in our hands so we can finally read it, digest it, and see where we go from there.
Sounds like a plan then.
Now, yeah, but I don't have anything else to really say about this preview except that I'm praying there's more, but it's, let's say, the 17th, and this chapter is due in 3 days, and there haven't been any more leaks or whatnot, so we might just be getting what we already talked about, but hopefully there's more. Just hoping there's more. And you already know where to find us for our reviews here on Anchor or anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, RadioCast, and we upload our podcasts on YouTube because YouTube is sometimes easier. But Mitch, I will let you have the parting words.
Alrighty. Thank you everyone once again for listening in. Tune in, as Martin said, to any avenue that you listen to the Level 7 crew here, to L7C. Well, hey, one other thing for all the listeners. Whenever you get a chance, make sure that you congratulate Martin and his lovely wife, Courtney. They got married a few weeks ago, and, in the middle of a pandemic, it was a fantastic evening, and it was a bunch of fun, and just want to congratulate you two once again, and maybe we'll have a podcast on what married life's like, but maybe not today.
I mean, we are seeing each other this weekend. If you really wanted to, we could get that recorded with 4.
Oh yeah, just do a married life podcast. That'd be funny. That would be pretty funny. But Well, I could actually get my wife to actually listen to something for once because she never has time to actually listen to these things. She goes to bed, before the sun even goes down, and she's up even before it comes up. So, but
I mean, she got to start listening to yours. She's married to an internationally known.
I tell her every time that I see someone from across the planet tuning in, and thank you for all the listeners wherever you may be listening. It's mind blowing to me that we have a community, a very very small community, but people just want to listen and. Maybe someday we'll get more people to chime in the comment section or whatnot, and we look forward to that. Oh, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, so then you can just see what's all going on with the L7C and whatnot. But yeah, I tell her every time, I'm like, there's someone from Japan that listened to our stuff, and she looks at me and then she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, man, it's been a great experience so far. Obviously, it's still November, so we still have episodes coming in December, and obviously we're gonna try and get all the major contributors to the podcast on one end of year podcast. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because that has not happened yet. So, but those are all things in the future. But you guys are going to be hearing from me and Mitch literally a couple days from now in our review. So
sounds like a plan. Then look forward to doing another podcast. Heck, we might even do it, like you said, this weekend then, and together.
Yeah, I will have the microphone in car just in case.
Sounds good then. So, well, everyone, thank you again for tuning in. Like, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And, well, Martin, I'm going to then just wish everybody have a great day or evening, whatever time it is you're listening to us. And, well, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.